I was able to get this camera at a flea market, but it's an old black and white camera.
Oh yeah, somebody.
And I got it and I put it on my tripod and hooked it up, and we have some type of a setup here in order to record things.
I see.
Yeah.
That camera doesn't look like it's looking at us.
Well, it actually is.
Is
Father, this is hard to tell with this camera. It's basically for
Yeah, it looks like it's looking at
industrial use.
Yeah, that camera's waving at you, Father.
Yeah,
It's an
I know.
industrial
Yeah,
camera, actually.
Atta guy,
But
atta
it's
guy.
not
very
really
inexpensive.
looking right on us. It's
No, not really. So anyway, you know, this is an interesting story. We have the bowling scores. You know, I bowl on Friday nights.
right.
I have the lowest score in the whole league.
Of all the
people, I have the lowest.
team?
Yeah, of the
Women
lowest.
too.
Everybody,
You gotta
even
be proud of
babies.
that.
Well,
I'm actually the anchor in this league.
well, you're best at something anyway.
That's true. That's
Yeah,
true.
you're
I can't.
best
It's
at-
very embarrassing. In fact, I'm about one of the only two people who have a 2-digit score. Everyone else has a score that's 3 digits. I'm the only one with a 2-digit
Now I used to
score.
think an anchor man was the best bowler on a team.
That's possible. That's very possible.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I know when I used to bowl, our anchor man was the one who sort of steadied everybody. He bowled last, and he was supposed to keep a grip on things.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's two different versions of what an anchor. I'll ask you to find out now from your bowling friends whether you are an anchor man,
Mm-hmm.
and in what sense do they use that expression.
Yeah.
'Cause I bowled at St. Andrew's Parish out there on Garrett Road, and a bowling alley in Garrett Road by Shadeland Avenue every Monday night.
Yeah,
The little
Jackson
ones?
Hill.
Yeah.
Real little ones, about 6, 7, 8 lanes.
Yeah, we bowled there.
Yeah.
Of course, in those days we had pin setters. The kids were down in the,
Yeah.
I had to quit bowling there because I threw the ball so hard they wouldn't let any. The pin boys were afraid to be down in the pit because if they ever got, you know. And then Mr. Gerard owned the place.
Mr.
And
Gerard?
He was the owner of the bowling
Really?
alley, and he complained me not actually breaking the pins, but denting them, you know, and putting holes.
I see.
Yeah, because hitting them too hard.
Mr. Gerard, the fellow who's the Gerard Estates type of Mr.
No.
Gerard.
Hey, tell me something, Father. Did you start out as a pin boy before you start bowling?
Well,
Was you a pin bowl?
In the seminary, we had 2 alleys,
Yeah.
bowling alleys, and we'd set up pins ourselves while
Boy, that's
one team
exciting.
would bowl, and we'd take
Oh,
turns.
it's
And
So you're saying you have these pin boys, okay?
yeah, they used to set them up.
that's right. And I
All right.
remember
Well, that would be like the first year seminarians. That would be a good job for them, wouldn't it?
It would be, but the alleys were in the upper building for the older students, more
Mhm.
advanced. The younger, the new side or the prep side of the seminary didn't have bowling alleys. So you had to really get up into theology
Mm-hmm.
to be in the building where the bowling was. And we had a bowling league. And I remember I wasn't an excellent bowler.
Mm-hmm.
My average would be about 160.
160.
160.
Okay.
And
That's great.
the highest game I ever bowled was luck. 252 I hit one.
252.
Yes, it was a mistake.
I see.
Like
you had 48 points to go before you hit 300.
But I hit a few 200 games. That was of course, that's the object. To hit 200 is the dream of every bowler, like it is to break 100.
For me, it's to hit 100.
Yeah.
I think that's my
That's a
dream.
ghost dream for you.
That's
Well,
a real dream for me.
You'll have to take a lesson in it.
I should. I've practiced quite a bit, but I really never had anyone to properly show me what's
Yeah.
going on and
Yeah.
monitor things.
Yeah.
Well, perhaps I have. Some John monitored stuff I've done, and you've given me points, but I must be a slow learner. That could be
Yeah.
the
Well,
that could be the problem.
You don't have
You
the
ain't
knack.
slow learners, the idea you have to just roll it down there, right?
My family, the nieces and nephews, struggling to find out what they could give me for Christmas,
Hmm.
bought a bowling ball for me once.
Okay.
And I had to take it to, I forget where I took it, but to have my hand measured,
Yeah.
so my fingers will be, it was handmade holes in it.
Hmm.
You just can't take your hand like this and put it in a ball and
Sure.
ball like that, although some people have that strength to just go like that, like Superman. He'd just go like that into a ball of wall and his hand, good fingers would go right in there, you
Mhm.
know. But not I didn't have that strength. But I only hurt several kids with the pinballs flying around.
I see. Well, I would think, how long ago I don't think they had pin boys back when you were in the seminary. I think a lot of that equipment was automatic by then, wasn't
No, I'm
Was it?
talking 30, I'm talking 29 to 39.
it? Okay.
The students were automatic. The
Well, what
pin-
about today? Do you have any automatic bowling alleys today?
Well, it's more than that. Now they have computerized
No, well,
scoring.
I
in
mean,
those
in
alleys.
the seminary. I guess there's nobody there anyway for the seminary.
I think they still, no, the bowling alleys are gone, I
Oh.
think. They've,
What about the swimming pools? Is it still there?
it's still there. That's on the prep
Yeah,
side.
I remember. Yeah, you remember years ago with Father McVeigh, Francis McVeigh, not Bob's.
Frank McVeigh, yeah.
Francis, yeah. He used to be in St. Paul's when I was just, getting out of high school, and I used to have the basketball players, and we used to bicycle from South to 9th and Christian, or 10th and Christian. That's the same difference. We bicycle all the way into the seminary, and we go swimming there.
Yes.
There were about 20 of us. But all the kids, and Father and I would lead the kids out there on bicycles.
Yeah.
From South.
It's very closely watched now.
Yeah,
Some youngster from Lady Lourdes Parish drowned,
no kidding, yeah.
and I think they had to put all kinds of restriction. You have to have insurance, or you have to be sure there's a lifeguard on duty, whatever, because you can't take the risk. Yeah, well, one of the tough things about some of those pools don't have any water in them,
No.
and
Sure.
people go off the diving board and they hit the
You mean it's not
concrete.
deep enough?
Well,
Yes.
they don't even have any water in them. And people,
Well, what the heck they
it's a
done?
danger. They think they see water like
Yes.
it's a mirage, and
But
I know people have done
Well,
that.
I think they closed that place up. I think they filled that pool up.
They're dangerous sometimes.
no, that's a good point. I think that a lot of people don't realize that there's no water in there because a lot of times water is transparent.
That's right.
Unless it's like from the river around here, Schuylkill or something. It's
They might
transparent.
drain the pool during the night.
Yeah.
Somebody come in the morning for an early dip and just accidentally not notice that the pool's drained, or only a little bit of water and not enough for a dive.
Mhm.
Well, anyway, see that picture on the wall, Father?
There's two I see over
Well,
there.
the top one. The bottom one's the Mike and his uncle Vivalacqua.
Oh yeah, Tony.
Tony.
What's the top one? I don't see
The top picture, the top picture I'll show you. I'm in a national magazine,
Ah,
international magazine. I have to show you that. They put that in the magazine. I just got the issue.
so President Reagan is going to have lunch with the Archbishop Wednesday.
True?
Yeah.
Really?
Out City Avenue. It reminds me of the time Cardinal Kroll and I had lunch on City Avenue a few years ago.
Really?
Yeah. He was at his home there at 5700, and I was 6 blocks away at the
I figured. I like the time he told me when you were in the office with him. You were about that. His office was right there where the lamp is, and you were way down here talking to him.
Yes. I always had a shout at him. Yeah.
Well, we could write a book with you. Write these jokes and put them.
We were going to have nice dessert tonight. Guess what we're having?
Pie.
Pie, yeah.
Pie
Mom's
Alamo.
favorite.
Mhm.
This here business we're all going to. Can we see that on TV now?
We're going to see. I'll see what I could do. I don't know how I'm going to engineer this because we're going to have to cook you up a special way.
Now, will these
to get you down here.
pictures come on this?
I may have to do a little manipulation to wire it up that way, but I might be able to do something.
Well, get the other, can't you put,
Father upstairs.
But that's all going on upstairs, and no
That's
one's
basically
watching it.
what's happening is this camera and the microphone go through this wiring. That's just a mixer box to send it up. That's all that is for the audio. That all goes upstairs into the tape machine is upstairs.
Mhm.
And there's a TV up there in which one can monitor what's happening here.
Yeah.
Now tell us about, like, how about the desserts you get at the villa? Is that good?
Well, we get quite a number of different desserts. Pie, we have plenty of pie, ice cream, fruit, a lot of fruit.
Can you have any dessert you want?
Not really. They'll come out and say, would you care for dessert? And you say, what do you have? And then they'll list
Jello.
Jello. It's always Jello. You can
It's
always
always
have
Jello.
Jello.
That's
yeah.
always.
If you
They
don't,
can make that by the ton.
Yeah, if you don't know what you want, take Jello. And you always have ice cream. Always ice cream, Jello. And then you can, sometimes the cook will cook a cherry pie or an apple pie, lemon meringue pie.
It has to cook a lot of pies.
Yeah, sometimes they have baked baked apple.
Oh, yeah.
That's good, yeah.
You can get applesauce pretty nearly. Of course, you have enough of that at conversation. You don't really need any more of it for dessert. So, I'd say...
Let me ask you this question, Father. You know, if you notice, I had my picture taken with the Archbishop, but you're having the honor of being videotaped. See, he only got the one still picture. You get the videotape. You get the high-tech picture
Yeah.
here. Now, my question is, would you, if Monsignor Minor asked you to be on reel to reel, would you be on it? We can't use this, obviously.
No.
Now, would you go up to the seminary and I think they have the studio up there, and would you be on reel to reel?
Well, I doubt it very much that I have the experience for an interview with Monsignor Minor. So I would respectfully decline unless I had a format in which he was to ask me certain questions.
you have to be
And
prepared
then I
for it.
would be prepared to answer specific questions. But on a one-to-one basis, I don't think I would be capable of fielding the whole picture, philosophical, theological, and human experiences and things like that. I'm not into that. You'd have to be prepared. So I would, I'm sorry the Archbishop is being treated differently than myself, but I'm older than he is, and I've been in Philadelphia much longer.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's put in second place, he deserves it. However, I don't want to be quoted on that.
That's quite right. Your namesake in New York City, who is the cardinal up there, and I understand you were in the seminary at roughly the same time.
Right, and very roughly, I'd say. And, I remember years ago when I was stationed at St. Andrews, I got a phone call from one of the parishioners saying that the children were running up and down in church. It was in the afternoon. So the pastor was there when I answered the phone. I said, there's a bunch of kids running around up and down in church. I said, what, do you want to do anything about it? He said, let them be, they're in their father's house.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said to the woman who was making the call, Father McShane said, let them be, they're in their father's house. And she said, well, they've just broken the statue of the Blessed Mother. So I said to McShane, the pastor, she tells me that they just busted the Blessed Mother statue. He said, get over there and throw them out. And I really don't know.
I have a complex question I'd like to ask. At St. I can't say where, but it's one of the, where I go to confession, I can't say where, but it's a church, obviously. In the confessional, they have a light on, and it's like a little reading light. Okay? Now, I like it when the confessional's dark. In this way, I just prefer it dark. Now, the switch is right there. I could turn that reading light off. What's keeping me from turning that light off?
I'll tell you why.
Why?
Because a lot of the old people can't see if they get in the dark.
Okay, now if is it all right for me to turn that light off?
I think I'll put it back on.
I
I can
think-
turn it back on.
Yes, I think that's why it's there.
I think it's mostly for the old people. That one priest
Yeah.
you're talking about, he's the only one that had the light on. The other side don't have the lights
Yeah,
on.
some of the sides don't have the lights. Some of them have them, some of them don't.
That's
Well,
right.
you have a preference to be totally anonymous or what they call today face-to-face confession.
Well, there is the glass in there is
You can't see anything.
translucent.
You
It's
can't
not
see
glass anyway. It's plastic.
Plastic.
Translucent
Right.
plastic material that it's distorted. If whatever they could see is distorted,
Yes.
even with the light on. But I'm sure there could be some distinguishing factors, and I try to disguise my voice if I can. Like I'll do like
They don't even
like
look
that. I
good.
use my Donald Duck voice.
I don't think you look. I put my hand there. I
Like
put
that,
my
I
hand
do
in
my
front of my
Donald
eyes so
Duck.
the eyes don't. The light hurts my eyes.
Of course, if the priest is Walt Disney, he'd understand you right off the
Yeah.
bat.
Right.
I,
That could be a problem.
I put the lights are so bright in your eyes. I just.
You know what I do? I put my hands over my ears so I can't hear
Yeah.
what the priest is giving me for penance.
Speaking of hearing,
Or if I put my hand on the one ear, I get half the penance.
some of these confessionals have hearing aids,
Oh yeah.
which the
sure.
penitent turns on
Yes,
when,
that's right.
when he
yes.
comes in. And one day, someone turned the hearing aid on, and it was a little kid, and I tried to be a little ladder for him and all that, and I sort of felt sorry that a youngster like that would have trouble with his hearing already, you know. And so after I gave him his penance, he said to me through the microphone, "Father, I'll say a prayer for your ear." he thought I was the deaf one.
Yeah. Well, I thought he was going to say something like, "Father, how do you change stations on this?"
No, he said, "I'll say a prayer for your ear."
I'll tell you one. There, a couple of weeks ago, I met this guy. I do go to St. Cyril's, okay? And I met this guy. I know a lot of people. I got a lot of work on the railroad with me. There's one particular guy. He got talking to me. He says, "I see you in church all the time." Yeah, I says. I says, "Yeah." I says. He said, "My name is Mark Rogers." I said, "My name is Mike Mig." I didn't get the whole name, right?
Yeah.
I says, he says, "How come you belong to our parish?" I said, "No." I said, "How come you come here?" I said, "Well, it's like the old days. I feel at home here at your parish." "Oh, that's nice." He said, "Well," he says, "sometimes priests are odd." I didn't say nothing about priests being odd.
No.
He says, I'll tell you a story, Mike." Then he got to know me. And he belongs to the American Legion, 69th Street. He says, "You know, I had a knobball priest in this one particular parish, St. Sarah, where he used to be one time." Said he used to bring the dog in a confessional box with him.
Yes.
So if somebody says something in a confessional, confessing his problems, his sins, he starts hollering.
Yeah.
When he hollers, a dog barks with him.
Yeah.
This is true now, Mike. I says,
Yeah.
"Well, I guess I believe you." I says, if the priest hollers at a guy real loud,
Dog
they used to
will
remember the
holler.
old days how the guys used to holler, and the dog used to bark with him. The
Because-
dog goes in with him.
Because
Did you ever
the
hear
dog
anything?
can't
Did you ever bring a
talk.
dog in with you?
No, never did. I
This
know.
is true, he said.
Well-
He said, "You sure?" He said, "This is true now, Mike." I said, "Well, okay, it's true."
I know a priest that took his dog to church. The dog used to make the stations of the cross with the priest.
Yeah.
Stop at each station. And I don't know whether he ever got anything out of it, but he followed the priest all over.
Well,
I think he might have had the dog in the box.
just like if we take a dog for a walk. Now, a lot of dogs, if his master is walking and he stops, he'll stop with him, go right alongside of him.
Right.
Well, that'd be the same principle.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a matter of
yeah.
being trained that
The
way.
dog wouldn't know it was the stations of the cross.
Yeah. Well, of course.
I don't. Some people would question you on that.
Yeah,
He knows every
yeah.
one of these stations, and you wouldn't argue with people like that because
Well, how would you say for the first station, would you go woof?
Yeah.
Second
Well-
station, woof, woof?
And all they do is just stay
oh, well, I
on.
mean the precinct this would be private when
Yeah.
he'd make the stations privately. I don't mean he had the dog during the public recitation.
No, just on his own, right.
Yeah.
That's how, I assume is that it has to be private.
Yeah.
The dog
but
just follows around and he just stays alongside of him. There's a lot of dogs
followed
that
him
way.
all over.
Sure.
And he used to bring the dog in the dining room. And he wasn't the pastor either. He got away with it. The pastor liked him, so he had to like his dog. But I never wanted a dog in directory to begin with because of the different aversions of people. Some people don't like dogs.
Right.
Other people are allergic to dog hair. The dog barking scares some people.
I don't like cats.
Cats are,
But why does this priest have to bring the dog in confessional with him, though? I guess he wants him close by, just like this here priest here. You say when he makes the station to the cross, the dog stays right alongside him. It's the same
Yeah,
thing. He wants
well,
the dog
see-
alongside of him.
they're friends.
Yeah.
Do you think that maybe eventually people will find out that animals of the higher intelligence can actually go to church? This is the heavy question here.
Yeah, repeat the question. It's so
Like
heavy.
the animals they find have higher intelligence level. Will they allow them to eventually go to church?
I would suspect that.
No. Of course,
any-
I mean, like a porpoise has apparently a high intelligence, but I can't. I think it'd be unwieldy to get a porpoise in the church.
Well, we all should have a purpose in going to church. And was that your question?
The porpoise.
Oh, porpoise. Oh,
Porpoise.
I missed your point there
You
entirely.
two guys are
Mike.
always hang together to get these here weird jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, human intelligence, I doubt if any animals will ever, not having been created that way, will never reach the level of human intelligence, regardless of how much of a irrational, they don't have a rational intelligence, they have a sensory intelligence. And that way, although I never did hear the confession of an elephant in my
I
time.
guess I maybe eat too much peanuts or something like
Yes,
that. You know how they
yeah.
get.
I bet that dog goes to confession too. There's a master there in that confessional box if everybody goes.
Probably, yeah. Yeah.
What kind of sin could a dog commit?
Well, dogs get jealous of other dogs.
There you go, jealousy, yeah.
Yeah, dogs hate some people.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Mailmen
I wasn't
especially.
treated like
Yeah.
he was or she was, and that.
How about mailmen?
Well, I never knew
I hated
of
a
a man.
mailman.
I never knew of a man that wasn't a male, so I can't really answer that question.
If you're missing your news file, does it make any difference?
No, it's on 5:30. What's it, 6 o'clock?
Another
Yeah,
news
5:30.
We'll have another interview.
Okay, we're gonna have this. Okay.
This interview is going pretty well. I think it.
You ever see it in Disney World where this here porpoise comes up and kisses the woman?
Oh yeah,
Is that
they're
darn thing? Boy, they're
amazing.
really clever
They're
animals,
fresh.
though.
yeah,
They're fresh.
Oh,
well
yeah.
trained. They
They're
say
very-
they have the highest intelligence
Right,
amongst
and
the.
Here's
Yeah,
a
they're-
question I think the church should address. Is Elvis Presley still alive?
I don't think it's within the realm of the church to say that, but I think within the context of our idea of immortality, Elvis Presley is still alive, but not on this earth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure, yeah.
So that
It sounds to me like someone's trying to make money.
Well, of course, the whole thing's a hoax, and it's already made enough money for that one or two incidents. It'll die out shortly, but they struck while the iron was hot and made a bundle and some fake.
You know, they still admire Presley. They go for that, and that's what's keeping them alive. By these here, they're the ones who are making money, promoting his records and his wares and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Like,
Well, I think it's safe to say that everyone who ever lived is still alive, not on this earth, but we're created to be immortal, and you're alive in the next world. Christ established the fact that there is no such thing as death in the strict sense of the word. Do the interview over here now?
Yeah, it's fine. I think we've got plenty
We had
on tape
enough.
there, yeah.
You got
I
enough
think that sounds
fathers,
good to me.
Well, it was a very good interview. I'm very happy to have been the one interviewed, and I appreciate the sharing our thoughts about these many profound truths, and some of them not truthful, I must say. I didn't detect a total tone of complete honesty in the whole interview, but nevertheless, you take the good with the bad.
That's true. You know, I guess it's, someday we'll have a big time program like reel to reel or something.
They will have people reeling, you might say.
Well, that's